What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, it's pretty hard to break the internet in 2023, but Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman definitely did their best yesterday when they revealed the first official look at Hugh in one of the classic yellow and blue Wolverine costumes. And we say one of because we suspect we're going to see several different Wolverines throughout the film. Now, this marks the second round of set photos that have gotten released over the last week, and while they film outside, we're going to continue to get them. But in the meantime, it's not the suits that are being revealed in the photos, it's the locations that they're shooting at that are super curious, considering what we already know about the plot of the film and how now both of these set locations seemingly match up perfectly with major points of interest in the previous X-Men films. We're going to break down where they've shot what we saw in the photos and what scenes we think they perfectly line up with, and if right, we now know exactly where Deadpool will be traveling for at least two parts of this film. We're breaking it all down, the newest Deadpool Wolverine set photos and where they match up with previous X-Men films. We've also got to talk about that enormous 20th Century Fox broken logo that showed up on set last night. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report or theory like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is just right around the corner, a couple of weeks away to coincide with the Secret Invasion finale. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so if somehow you haven't seen any of the rumors for what this film will be all about, and without rehashing the multitude of plot leaks and rumors we've already had for the film in just the last 2 months alone, basically it's all predicated on the time travel that happened at the end of Deadpool 2 in the post-credit scene, interfering with the multiverse, and as such, the TVA going after Deadpool. Now, whether or not Ultimatum Magneto or the House of M premise or any of that ends up being true, we'll talk about that between now and then. There's still 10 months to the film, but today we are going to focus on strictly the facts, which is 2 rounds of set photos from seemingly different locations, and they both happen to line up with X-Men scenes. So let's actually start with yesterday's round of photos and set videos and work our way backwards. And before we even get into which X-Men scene this might match, we have to mention the fact that while videos were coming out and the last of the set photos were making their way into the internet late last night, everybody noticed that there was a huge 20th Century Fox Studios logo broken and washed up on the shore in the background, making everybody wonder if this wasn't going to be some huge She-Hulk meta event like we saw in the finale of her show, where truly Fox is dead now. Deadpool has killed the Fox universe, and you have to admit that this 20th Century Fox logo sort of seems washed up and presented in a ruinous way, very similar to the way we saw things at the quote-unquote end of time, or rather right before the end of time, in the place that they called the Void, as it was guarded by Goliath, everything sort of just gathering there that they couldn't properly prune. And so one way of looking at this is Deadpool is exactly that same thing. He's a remnant of the old 20th Century Fox universe, the same way that this Hugh Jackman Wolverine and the other X-Men that we're going to see are, and they've sort of collected now. Even though Fox Studios is completely done, here they are and they still remain. So really this is a huge metaphor, even an allegory as such, and really reminiscent of what they did in She-Hulk and also what we saw at the end of Loki season 1. And so it does make me wonder, at least one option could be that this beach is perhaps just like the Void was in Loki. It is the place where they fight at the end of 20th Century Fox Studios. But it's also hard to deny that working through the prism that these scenes are all lining up with specific Fox X-Men scenes, that this isn't taken directly from an X-Men movie. We can clearly tell that they're on a hilly beach very similar to the one that we saw in X-Men First Class when Magneto ends up paralyzing Professor X. Now, obviously, there have been no rumors that this is the cast that they're bringing back. All indications are that the cameos we should expect to see of X-Men are coming from the original X-Men films and the Singer cast. But it's already been established that across the multiverse, a lot of similar events happen for a lot of different variants. And while there are outliers, we should expect to see similarities across the multiverse for said variants. Obviously, Wolverine wasn't present during this scene in X-Men First Class, and this isn't the Singer cast, Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen. But it could be that this is one of those key moments that Professor X's and Magneto's share across a lot of the multiverse, and one iteration of them there was a Wolverine present for this, and Deadpool was going to mess with this specific event, and maybe not in the way you think. He might not be there to stop it, he might be there to make sure that it happens, because if it doesn't, different things play out. It sort of sounds like that's the place right now where Deadpool finds himself in the multiverse, having set a ton off and now wants to try to clean it up. And as we already know, because of what's gone down with He Who Remains, there's no real cleaning up the multiverse, at least not right now. Now, the earlier set photos from over the weekend, the one where everybody was nitpicking Deadpool's suit because it's super bright red, and really when you see it next to the bright yellow Wolverine costume, it kind of makes sense why they might have amped up the saturation. Either way, we saw him in a heavily forested area driving a blue car. Now, I know that they said during the original official announcement, the two videos that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds put out together, that they weren't going to mess with Logan because it was its own thing. But in a multiverse where there are infinite versions of that probably happened, is any one of them sacred? And that is, I mean to say, it would be the most Deadpool thing ever for them to say that they weren't going to mess with Logan, and then the first scene that we see them is him messing with Logan. It's sort of hard to deny that this heavily wooded area doesn't very closely represent the things that took place at the end of Logan. And if they aren't messing with that one specific timeline, again, just jump into the timeline right next to it and save him there. Although you do have to admit that this is not the old man Logan version that we saw during Logan the film, that this is a younger Wolverine, or at least looks like it, in this yellow costume, and presumably still a member of the X-Men. Remember, guys, Wolverine did debut in the yellow and blue long before he joined the X-Men team. That was in Hulk 180 and then on the cover of Hulk 181. Yes, he did appear at the end of Hulk 180. They just consider 181 his first appearance, well, because he was on the cover. Speaking of which, there was slight rumors that members of the Avengers and MCU characters we already know would show up alongside all of these X-Men that were coming back. Over the weekend, they confirmed Jennifer Garner's Elektra alongside Ben Affleck, who now we assume will also be Daredevil. We also know that they're bringing in the Fantastic Four from the older Fox films as well. But if they can sprinkle a couple of Avengers that we know from the MCU and currently in there, including Hulk, this gives us an opportunity to get that Wolverine versus Hulk fight, and with Hugh Jackman starring in that I just don't know how long we will have in order to get that. Yes, we're bringing in a 616 X-Men into the MCU, and that'll be after the multiverse saga, but will we even have a Bruce Banner Hulk and a Savage Hulk by then? The World War Hulk event may have already happened. We may miss out on the opportunity. So I hope and think that Kevin Feige, the rest of the team over there, is acutely aware, if they're bringing them into the multiverse, that this is their opportunity to square off with a Savage Hulk, get the original Hulk vs. Wolverine fight that we've never had in film. And so fingers crossed, out of all these cameos that end up being confirmed or debunked as we continue to get plot leaks and rumors, because we will, guys, we're still 10 months away from the film, that someone confirms along the way that this Hugh Jackman, in some iteration of the yellow and blue suit, are going to fight the Hulk. I saw a lot of you say today, well, hey, those sleeves are on there now, but maybe they'll get ripped off during a fight. Fighting the Hulk would be a great way for that to happen. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below though in the comments. How hype are you for this film, and especially now that we've seen what we've seen today? And do you think I'm onto something with these locations eerily matching some of the previous X-Men films? If they keep filming outside and we keep getting locations like this, I think it'll be harder and harder to deny that that's not what they're doing. Guys, let me know all your thoughts quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're going to keep giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel, and we're going to continue to do so until, I don't know, we're just going to keep doing it. We do it to coincide with Marvel releases and the finales of TV shows. Yeah, we're just going to keep giving away PlayStation. Shoot, it's going to be PlayStation 6 next year. We'll still be giving them away. All you have to do to be entered to win, and all the same giveaway rules will always apply. All you gotta do is be a sub, so hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, same way we're doing here, live with my voice in the comments shown on screen. So please be safe on my channel, any channel on the platform, really any platform. Never give your information out on a third-party app like Telegram or